This is the Angels POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Los Angeles Angels. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Oh, yeah, that is like it. That is more like it, baby. Hello, Halo Nation. Hello, Halo hopefuls. And welcome back to the latest edition of the Locked On Angels Postcast, coming at you live, as always, after every single Angels game, right here live on the Locked On Angels YouTube channel, and after the fact, both on the channel and wherever the heck you get the Locked On Angels audio podcast feed. If you don't know who I am, what is going on, everybody? My name is Gavin Carlson, former credentialed journalist in the LA area, spent 4 years covering UCLA sports with the Daily Bruin, and now in year 2 with the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day. Our team is the Angels, and boy, oh boy, it feels a lot better to say that today than it has in recent days, as the Angels snap that skid, right? Coming off the sweep at the hands of the Cubs, coming off of losing every series this month outside of the Dodgers series. So to start off a series in Texas against a team we hate so much with a performance like this, not only do the Angels win 4-0, but the guys you want to see play well played well. And that's the most important thing. We will certainly get into that. But before we do, shout out to everybody in here. I know that it's been frustrating, and it was amazing that you guys were still joining the postcast this weekend. And, we're trying to feel good, right? The vibes, they were low this weekend. They feel great. And Larry's in here saying, finally a win. I guess I can have a few Coors Lights. Exactly. And then he says, wait, I drink, win or lose. That's hilarious. But yes, it feels good. As Aaron says, I forgot what it felt like to win for a second. It does feel like we haven't got much to celebrate since that Dodgers sweep. And so we feel good. Now, there's going to be people in here like Angels win saying it's a meaningless win. I get why he's saying it. It's a joke, meaningful baseball, meaningless baseball. I understand the puns, but the moral of the story is I don't think it was a meaningless win, not because we won the game, right? Not because we won the game. And you're probably thinking, how the heck does that make sense? You're saying it's not a meaningless win, not because we won. What do you mean? Well, here's what I mean. Let's waste no more time.
This is what you'll be talking about.
Of course, we want to win the ball game. But more importantly, I want certain players to do well. And it's no secret, it's not rocket science who I want to do well. As Cat Soup says in here, it's very meaningful for Soriano and O'Hoppe. Yes, it is. And not just them. I want this young core to show us something the last 2 months or last month now. And if you could have asked me coming into this game, Gavin, who are the 3 guys in the lineup tonight that you want to see do well, including the rotation and the bullpen, I would say, of course, Jose Soriano, who I still think has Cy Young potential. And I know I get roasted for it, but it starts like this. So I was rooting for him. I'm rooting for Zach Neto always because he's the face. The face. And outside of that, you're like, oh, who, Gavin? Bryce T? Cavadis? Adele? I mean, Adele would have been a fair one, but you can make the argument that there's nobody you want to see have a great last month and a half of the season than Logan O'Hoppe with how bad he's been. And again, it's crazy how baseball is, because coming into that home run swing in the top of the 9th, he was 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. But just like that, with 1 swing, it's his first homer since June. His first homer since June? Is that right? I have to check and make sure that's right. It's hard to believe. O'Hoppe goes deep, which is great. Wait a second. I don't know what's going on. I think my phone is yelling at me. Give me 1 second here. I don't know what's going on. That's insane. I got my phone yelling at me like Siri or something going crazy. But I'm back. And I'm back with the stat, which is when's the last time Logan O'Hoppe has hit a home run? And yes, I wasn't hearing things on the broadcast. It was July 21st, not June 21st, but July 21st, the last time that O'Hoppe had hit a home run before tonight, which is crazy to say for a guy who has almost 20 home runs, right? So great to see Logan O'Hoppe go deep there. I know that he was still 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts coming into the at-bat, but he hit the home run, and we will take it. And it wasn't meaningless. It's still a close game against a team that's exactly 500 coming into this series, a team that was a big, buyer at the deadline because they're trying to make the playoffs, right? So this means a lot for them, and every swing against this team matters. So huge job by Logan O'Hoppe there with the home run. He was one of the 3. Zach Neto was one of the 3. Of course, you want to see do well. He continues to be unbelievable. 2 hits, the solo shot to lead off the game, his 9th leadoff homer of the season. And so I know there's been a lot of debates about if Zach Neto should be hitting leadoff. And it's not because he can't do it, right? It's because are we wasting RBI chances by not having him hit 3rd with a guy on base or 4th with a couple guys on base, right? The moral of the story is if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And sure, maybe, Zach Neto, who has 22 home runs and only 56 RBIs, maybe he'd have 75 RBIs if he was hitting 3rd, right? But he also wouldn't have 23 stolen bases, right? And who knows if he would still have 22 home runs because he really does take advantage, not only leadoff, right? There's leadoff homers, but the first pitch homers, right? That's a different level of leadoff homer when it's on the first pitch, when you're jumping on somebody, especially someone like Jacob deGrom. So Zach Neto, like John Barron says, he's definitely the face of our team. No more debating it. No more even saying that even Taylor Ward has been a better hitter this season. I think you still have to say, without a doubt, Zach Neto has been the best hitter on this team. And if he was hitting in Taylor Ward's spot, he would have as many as RBIs, if not more, than Taylor Ward. But those were the 2 hitters you'd want to see do the best. Yes, I would include Joe Adell in there, but, an off night for him. I'm always rooting for Bryce T and a couple others, but those were the main ones, and you got it. And then most importantly, in my opinion, it is the start from Jose Soriano because, yes, O'Hoppe's been horrible. He's been horrible, and so you need him to turn things around more than anybody, but he's also maybe not as necessary to the future of this team as a guy like Jose Soriano is. Look at that rotation. Not only is the rotation already bad, but the rotation is old. It's got 2 grandpas in Tyler Anderson and Kyle Hendricks. It's got no 5th starter, and it's got Yusei Kikuchi, who's not young himself and expensive. So Jose Soriano has to be good, or this already subpar rotation becomes awful. And so, yes, it's theoretically his worst season of his career. 3.64 ERA in 38 games in 2023. But of course, he was mainly out of the bullpen. In fact, entirely out of the bullpen. Didn't start any games. 3.42 ERA last year, 20 starts, go 6-7. But he showed a lot of potential. This was the year you would hope that he could have a 3.2 ERA, a 3.3 ERA, even just repeat the 3.4. Unfortunately, a 3.85 ERA, but it goes down again because of this start. And this was just another one of those starts where Jose Soriano shows you some things. It wasn't absolutely lights out. Let's be honest. It's not like he was absolutely mowing through the lineup. He had a 1-2-3 first, a 1-2-3 second, and a 1-2-3 third if you count the double play. Excuse me. Then he had a 1-2-3 fourth with the double play as well. Really, for him, it was just a pitch count, right? 1-2-3 going all the way into the 5th inning, even then just one more single. But in the 6th is when it did get a little bit interesting, where you have the 2-out walk, then the 2-out single. And I know he only has 91 pitches. I would love to see him finish out the inning. I don't really understand why you don't give him the opportunity to. But again, as much as I want to rip on Montgomery, rip on these decisions, you got to tip your cap when it works out. And it worked out. Of course, you've got Corey Seager coming up with 2 outs and 2 on in the bottom of the 6th. He's the tying runner. And if he goes up against a righty, you're fearful that Soriano gives up a 3-run shot to tie the game. So instead, you bring in the lefty Detmers, and Detmers does his job. He strikes out Corey Seager, which you absolutely love to see him take advantage of the lefty-lefty. What I also love is he comes in the bottom of the 7th and gets 2 outs. Yes, he does get taken out, and Garcia gets the last out of the 7th, but Detmers look good. Soriano, of course, looked good. He is our player of the game 5 2/3, no runs allowed. And it was one of those Soriano starts where you got multiple double plays, you gave up a couple base hits, but the reason why he was able to not give up a single run is not because of the double plays. It's not because it's only 4 hits. It's because it's only one walk, guys. When it's only one walk from Jose Soriano, you know it's going to be a great start, and that's what it was. So he's your player of the game. Shout out to him for the huge performance, and the bullpen contributed as well. Detmers, Garcia, Brock Burke, and Kenley all essentially perfect. Just one hit and no walks from the bullpen in 3 1/3 innings, and you love to see that. Now, when we come back from the break, we're going to talk about Ron Washington. Obviously, this was a somewhat not emotional, but it was an important game for the Angels, and it's another reason why it's great we won this one. So we'll talk about that, and we'll talk about what to look forward in the rest of the series after our break here on the Locked On Angels postcast. Now, on this Monday, today's show is once again brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. It's time to fuel up and turn it up with 5 Hour Energy Transfusion. This grape, ginger, and lime flavored shot brings the iconic taste of a golf course favorite to a non-alcoholic boost. Perfect for sinking birdies or making great memories with friends. It's a hole-in-one for your energy game. Whether you're out on the course or just need a little extra push to power through your day, 5 Hour Energy Transfusion delivers the clubhouse flavor you love without ever leaving the green. Golf is all about good times with good people and good flavors. The grape, ginger, lime flavor of 5 Hour Energy Transfusion, well, it gives you the best parts of your clubhouse go-to without leaving the course or chasing down the bev cart. Now you can amp up the fun even more. Just buy, snap, and enter for a chance to win a dream golf trip for 2 to any golf tournament in the USA. Tee up that trip. Visit 5hewin.com for full rules and entry. No purchase necessary. Excludes the Masters tournament and ends October 31st. And today's show is also brought to you by FanDuel. You know what tomorrow is. Tomorrow is August 26th. And if you've been listening to the show recently, you know what August 26th is. It's FanDuel Futures Day, a very, very unique thing that FanDuel is doing this year, one day only. It's a brand new holiday for football fans who live for bold predictions and preseason hunches. For just 24 hours, FanDuel is giving you deals on NFL season predictions. So whether you're calling your MVP, eyeing a long shot division winner, or ready to crown your Super Bowl champ before week 1 even kicks off, this is your moment. Visit the FanDuel app today and start planning your futures bets now, because Futures Day is one day and one day only. FanDuel, play your game. Back here live on a victory edition of the Locked On Angels postcast. We have not gotten to say that in a while, but we do get to say it today because the Angels beat those nasty Rangers 4-0. A stellar start from your player of the game in Jose Soriano, 5 2/3, just one walk, just 4 hits, no earned runs, 6 strikeouts. Looked like the elite pitcher I and a lot of us believe he can be, but he was not alone. Zach Neto got things started right away with the first pitch solo shot, and Logan O'Hoppe, he has a home run to bookend this thing in the top of the 9th inning. 2 runs in between as well, thanks largely due to Travis d'Arnaud's 2 for 4. The rare game where we get 3 RBIs from our catcher position when we normally get negative RBIs. Yes, that's somehow a thing with this position, with this team. But Da Vinci in here smiling because Logan O'Hoppe went deep. I know all of us are very excited to see Logan O'Hoppe go deep because we want him to be better. Another guy we love to see is Ron Washington. Ron Washington, his first time meeting with the Angels, since he left the team with the medical issues, which, of course, bigger than baseball, right? It's great to hear that that's the case. But you wonder, both on like I don't like to be the big fantasy guy, in terms of using these hypotheticals and acting like it's not talent and decision-making that has things and it's on emotion and all that stuff. But you can't tell me, even someone who's all about stats and execution and less about emotion and stuff, you can't tell me that Ron Washington not showing up on Monday night in Texas, knowing the history he has with the team, with the Rangers, but of course, with what he means to our ball club. You can't tell me that did not help, right? And the question is, not only does he emotionally energize the team, just seeing him here, but has his energy, his contributions been the reason this team was good at the beginning of the season with him and not so good without him, right? We were all very critical of Ron Washington coming into the season for what he showed us or maybe didn't show us last season. Poor management decisions, not holding himself accountable for the mistakes he made in press conferences, throwing guys under the bus at times in press conferences. This season, it felt different. Still going out there, putting his hand on your shoulder on the mound if you're struggling. Still, developing the infield, Zach Neto, Christian Moore, guys like that, taking him under his wing. And no one has ever denied that Ron Washington knows more baseball than all of us will ever forget. Ron Washington has forgotten more baseball than all of us will ever know. But there were questions about him. And so the stock on Ron Washington has certainly gone up in the past couple of months because of how good they were, or at least how decent they were and exciting they were with him, how underwhelming they've been with Ray Montgomery, how awful the decision-making has been from Ray Montgomery. And then this is the cherry on top. The fact that the mere presence, the mere Ron Washington aura, him simply showing up to the clubhouse is enough to end the skid and get a win. So, again, I'm having a little bit of fun here. Obviously, him showing up and just saying hello doesn't make Logan O'Hoppe suddenly remember how to swing a bat. It doesn't make Soriano remember how good he can be. But what it does do is it brings some energy to this team, and it reminds them of how things were a couple months ago when he was their leader and they were good. So Da Vinci is absolutely right. We'll never know until he's back. So true. But there's going to be people in here like Nathan saying, give Ron another shot. Cat Soup saying, I truly believe we would be a few games over 500 if Ron had been here all year. JCH saying, nah, I've always been on Wash's side. So suddenly everyone's pro Wash, right? In my opinion, I don't know if we'd be above 500. I do think we'd be closer to 500 with Ron Washington. I think he's good enough for 3 or 4 wins because you can make the argument that Ray Montgomery's bonehead decisions in terms of leaving guys in against the Mets, but then taking them out too early in other games has cost the Angels a few wins in its own right? So the Angels coming into this ball game, right? Let me do the math here. 1, 2. They were 2-7 in their last 9 games, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 2-7 in their last 9. They wouldn't go 2-7 with Ron Washington. I don't believe that. So certainly love that Ron Washington was able to provide some of an emotional boost here, and the team was able to respond. That's all you can ask for, guys. That's all you can ask for at this point. This team is well below 500. Show some life, be competitive, and the young guys that we want to see play well come through, and that's exactly what we got tonight. Larry's in here saying old school baseball from Wash. Montgomery is a numbers guy. Hey, it won't surprise you that me, the 23-year-old in the room, is going to tell you I'm not an analytics numbers fear mongerer like a lot of people are. I'm not someone who only longs for the old days and roasts analytics. But despite being someone who thinks analytics and stats are important as much as anything is, Ray Montgomery, he isn't an analytics guy. He is I'm going to do something regardless of what actually happens on the field guy. And that's my biggest thing with him. Maybe it is analytics for him that says, hey, I'm going to pull Soriano out in the 6th inning. But he says he's going to do that whether Soriano has given up 10 runs or 2. And that's my biggest issue, right? It's all premeditated with him, and that's what frustrates me. Ron Washington, of course, is not an analytics guy. He's about as on polar opposite as you can be. He is really all about feel and everything, but still, certainly missing that right now. And certainly, the players miss him too. They were better with him. So JD says, how quickly we forget that there were games where Ron kept Suarez in, bonehead decision, but anything that helps us win and keeps us from remembering the past. I mean, true, right? Let's not act like he's been spectacular, which is why I'm not in here saying that we would suddenly be above 500 if he was the manager, like some people are saying. So Seth says, Wash is great, but it's time to turn the page. We need a dude to hold this team accountable, like Erstad or Torrey Hunter. Of course, a lot of people very pro Torrey Hunter. I wouldn't be opposed either, but we'll see. I do find it hard to believe that if Ron Washington came back and said, I'm healthy and ready to manage, that they would let him go. Because now it looks bad. The guy comes back from a health thing and you say, actually, we're firing you, right? When he didn't even have a chance to lead a team. And when he did lead the team, they actually were playing well, right? So if Ron says he wants to come back, I do think they're going to give him the opportunity. They're going to say, hey, we were doing well with him, and then he didn't have an opportunity to continue managing. So that would be my prediction. I don't know if it's actually what's best for the Angels in 2026, but it's probably what is going to happen, and I'll leave you with that. But with all that being said, shout out to everybody in here. Appreciate you guys so much. Angels pick up a win, 4-0 the final. You absolutely love to see it, and you love to see that Zach Neto, O'Hoppe, and of course, above all else, Jose Soriano all came through. That's what's really encouraging. Looking forward to tomorrow. You know what we want? We want more of the same. I need to see those young guys. If we can have O'Hoppe have another good game like he did yesterday, then it's not a fluke. Then it's not, oh, he still stinks and he just hit a home run in the 9th inning. It's no, maybe he's decent. Kikuchi, we know he's been good, not great. 3.42 our ERA. We'd love to see it be sub 3.4 going against Patrick Corbin, who was not good. If I have to make a prediction here, I'm saying a righty goes deep tomorrow off of Patrick Corbin. Maybe that's not a crazy prediction, but between Neto and Ward and Trout, if he plays, and O'Hoppe and Adele and Bryce T and others, I think at least one righty is going deep against Patrick Corbin tomorrow. That's my only prediction. But with all that being said, take care. JD says, who you wearing? Take one guess, guys. I'm wearing the legend himself. And I know we're all critical of him, but it's still the legend, Mike Trout himself. It's not the City Connect. It is the regular uniform. But yes, with all that being said, take care. Have a great rest of your Monday night. Mahoko's calling the Joe Adele homer. Hopefully it's that. Alcar the Feared says, thank God you're not predicting a win. And Larry says, about dang time we got a win. But yes, take care. Let's get a win tomorrow so I can be happy again. Have a great rest of your Monday night. And go Angels. Like that, baby.